wow, that was a rough time. So in one way, people say, "Oh, I'm glad it happened." No, I'm not glad it happened,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me a much better performer
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and much more sensitive because I realized this is what.
In a stunning turn of events that has rocked the worlds of film and boxing, legendary actor Sylvester Stallone has finally spoken about the shocking death of George Foreman. In a terse yet powerful statement, he declared, "They killed him," sending ripples through communities and igniting fierce debate. With an intensity that captures both loss and outrage, Stallone's words mark a historic moment in the dialogue surrounding the controversial circumstances of Foreman's passing. The news of George Foreman's untimely death has left an indelible mark on the hearts of millions worldwide. In an era where heroes from diverse walks of life have provided inspiration and hope to generations, Foreman's departure resonates as a deep, aching void. Known for his exploits inside the boxing ring and his remarkable journey as a self-made entrepreneur and devoted family man, Foreman's life was an emblem of perseverance, strength, and transformation. His legacy stretched far beyond the boundaries of the sport, and he became a beacon of hope for those who believed that greatness could emerge from the most unexpected places. Sylvester Stallone, himself a living legend whose career spans decades and whose characters have inspired countless individuals to overcome adversity, broke his long-held silence in an exclusive interview. His words were laden with raw emotion and an urgency that can only come from witnessing a monumental loss. For Stallone, Foreman was more than just a name in the annals of sports history. He represented an era of unyielding determination and the belief that every setback could be transformed into a triumphant comeback. As Stallone recalled his memories and reflections on Foreman's storied life, his voice carried both the pain of personal loss and a rallying cry for accountability in a world that often shrouds the truth in mystery. The moment Stallone uttered those fateful words, "They killed him," it was as if the fabric of reality had been stretched taut, exposing the raw nerve of a global sentiment that demanded answers. His comments, though brief, opened a floodgate of questions about the circumstances that led to Foreman's death. The statement resonated deeply with many who had long suspected that there was more to the story than the official narrative. In a landscape increasingly filled with half-truths and conflicting reports, Stallone's outburst became a symbol of resistance against the forces that manipulate public perception and obscure the real story behind major tragedies. Throughout his career, Foreman had transcended the role of a mere athlete to become a cultural icon whose influence permeated every corner of society. His rise from the rough neighborhoods of Houston to the zenith of boxing glory was a testament to the transformative power of ambition and hard work. Every jab he threw in the ring, every title he claimed, and every obstacle he overcame was a chapter in a saga that continues to inspire millions around the globe. Yet, despite his achievements and the admiration he earned, the final chapter of his life has now become a haunting mystery that leaves fans grappling with disbelief and sorrow. In the days following the tragic news, fervent discussions erupted across media platforms, with experts and enthusiasts alike dissecting every possible detail of the events leading up to Foreman's death. Analysts revisited his last public appearances, scrutinized security footage, and pieced together timelines in an attempt to uncover any irregularities that might corroborate Stallone's vehement assertion. While some voices in the community defended the official narrative, a growing number of individuals began to question whether the true nature of Foreman's demise was being deliberately hidden from the public. In hushed tones and behind closed doors, the phrase "they killed him" evolved into a rallying cry, a call for transparency and justice that transcended the boundaries of sport, politics, and celebrity. Stallone's commentary, delivered in a measured yet impassioned tone, did not come from a place of sensationalism alone, but from a deep-seated empathy for a man who had long served as an inspiration. In a series of candid reflections, Stallone recalled the first time he witnessed Foreman in the ring, a moment that encapsulated the raw, unfiltered essence of human determination. He spoke of a young fighter who, against insurmountable odds, defied gravity and societal expectations. Stallone's voice trembled as he recounted the unforgettable spectacle of Foreman's performances, where every punch was a declaration of defiance against a world that had too often tried to silence the underdog. To Stallone, Foreman was not merely a competitor. He was a mirror reflecting the struggles and triumphs of everyday life. The cinematic world in which Stallone has long been a defining presence has always thrived on stories of redemption, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of truth. In this context, the actor's abrupt commentary resonated with an almost mythic quality. Just as his iconic characters have overcome seemingly impossible challenges to rise above adversity, his words in this moment transcended ordinary grief. They became emblematic of a larger fight, a battle against the obfuscation of truth in an era where power and influence often dictate the narrative. As the public absorbed his message, many began to see in his words a call to action, a plea to look beyond the surface and demand accountability from those in positions of authority. For those who had followed Foreman's career with fervor, the news of his passing had been both sudden and surreal. In a world inundated with celebrity deaths and fleeting headlines, the loss of a figure as monumental as Foreman felt like the extinguishing of a guiding light. His contributions to the sport of boxing were immeasurable, having captivated audiences with his formidable presence and indomitable spirit. Yet beyond the glitz and glamour of championship bouts and the roar of cheering crowds, Foreman had embraced a life that was deeply rooted in community and compassion. His ventures into business and his philanthropic endeavors were as much a part of his identity as his athletic prowess. To many, his life was a blueprint for transformation, a reminder that success is not defined solely by victories in the ring, but by the legacy one leaves behind. In the aftermath of his shocking declaration, the media scrambled to piece together the narrative behind Stallone's cryptic message. Interviews with close friends, former colleagues, and even members of Foreman's inner circle painted a picture of a man who had always been forthright and unyielding in his pursuit of what he believed was right. While some expressed disbelief at the implications of his statement, others nodded in solemn agreement, recounting incidents that had hinted at the possibility of foul play. The investigations that followed were marked by an urgency that mirrored the intensity of Stallone's own emotions. Every new piece of evidence, every corroborative detail, seemed to add weight to the growing chorus of voices demanding that the full truth be revealed. As the days turned into weeks, the story began to evolve into something much larger than a single tragedy. It emerged as a multifaceted exploration of legacy, power, and the complex interplay between public figures and the institutions that govern their lives. In quiet, impassioned discussions at late-night cafes and in the hushed corners of sports bars, people speculated about the forces that might have conspired to keep the truth hidden. Was Foreman merely a victim of circumstance, or was there a deeper, more insidious network at play, one that sought to silence voices that dared to challenge the status quo? Stallone's remark, delivered with the gravitas of someone who had seen his share of life's brutal realities, served as a potent reminder that sometimes the most profound truths lie just beneath the surface of what we are told. Within the broader cultural context, Foreman's life and untimely demise have taken on a near-legendary quality, evoking comparisons to other iconic figures whose lives were abruptly cut short under mysterious circumstances. His journey from a humble beginning to becoming a household name encapsulated the American dream in its purest form, an epic tale of grit, determination, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. In the ring, he was known for his explosive power and unwavering focus. Outside of it, he became a mentor, a philanthropist, and a symbol of resilience. To those who admired him, his death was not simply a personal loss, but a monumental moment that underscored the vulnerability of even the mightiest among us. The questions that followed were not just about how or why it happened, but what it meant for the future of a legacy that had inspired so many. Stallone's own life had been punctuated by moments of triumph and tragedy, and his words on this occasion resonated with the authenticity of someone who truly understood the cost of greatness. In the solitude of reflective moments, he recalled conversations with Foreman during quieter times, moments when the two men, though from vastly different worlds, had connected over a shared understanding of what it meant to fight against the odds. For Stallone, Foreman represented an ideal, a living testament to the power of perseverance and the unbreakable human spirit. His unequivocal declaration, delivered with a blend of sorrow and righteous indignation, was not merely an accusation, but a call for remembrance and justice. It was as if, in those few words, Stallone had encapsulated the very essence of a life that had given so much to the world, and, in its final moments, demanded that every injustice be brought into the light. The impact of these revelations began to ripple through the entertainment and sports communities alike. Veteran journalists and up-and-coming reporters found themselves delving into archives and re-interviewing witnesses, searching for clues that might corroborate Stallone's vehement claims. The narrative that had once seemed so straightforward now revealed layers of complexity that defied simple explanation. Each new detail, whether it was a long-forgotten conversation or an overlooked document, added depth to an unfolding mystery that captivated audiences. The dialogue quickly shifted from mourning a fallen hero to demanding answers from those whose influence stretched across multiple industries. In the midst of this maelstrom, the public was reminded that every life, no matter how illustrious, carries within it stories of struggle, sacrifice, and sometimes the darker undercurrents of power. As the investigation into the circumstances surrounding Foreman's death advanced, whispers of a broader conspiracy began to surface. While no concrete evidence had yet emerged to substantiate claims of deliberate malfeasance, the tone of public discourse was unmistakably charged with suspicion and the thirst for transparency. In private conversations among friends and colleagues, the discussion often circled back to that singular, jarring statement from Stallone. His words seemed to cut through the layers of bureaucracy and obfuscation that had long shielded powerful interests from scrutiny. For many, it was a rallying cry that transcended partisan divides, a call to look beyond surface-level narratives and demand that the truth in all its complexity be revealed. The ensuing debate, fueled by an ever-growing body of circumstantial evidence and the impassioned pleas of a community in mourning, served as a testament to the enduring impact of both Foreman's legacy and Stallone's unyielding spirit. In quieter moments, away from the glare of the media spotlight, those closest to Foreman recounted memories that celebrated the man behind the myth. Family members and longtime friends spoke of his kindness, his generosity, and his unwavering commitment to bettering the lives of those around him. They recalled a man who, despite his larger-than-life persona in the ring, always found time to lend a helping hand to those in need. It was this duality, the fierce competitor and the compassionate human being, that made Foreman such a beloved figure. His passing, shrouded in unanswered questions and marred by controversy, had now become a catalyst for a broader discussion about how society honors its heroes and safeguards the truth. In the echo of Stallone's stark pronouncement lay a deeper plea for recognition of the humanity behind the headlines, a call to remember that every legend is, at heart, a person with dreams, vulnerabilities, and an enduring desire for justice. Sylvester Stallone's own journey had been interwoven with moments of personal hardship and public triumph, a narrative that had made him a symbol of relentless perseverance. Over the decades, his characters had embodied the struggle against insurmountable odds, and his personal life had been a testament to the fact that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, one could still rise. As he spoke about Foreman, Stallone's voice carried the weight of personal experience, a reminder that the loss of a true icon resonates deeply within those who have themselves walked paths marked by struggle and redemption. In his reflective moments, he expressed a profound sense of disillusionment with a system that, in his view, had allowed a great man's life to end in such a murky fashion. His choice of words was not intended as a baseless accusation, but as an earnest outcry against a reality where truth can often be subverted by forces far removed from the everyday struggles of ordinary people. In the days following the revelation, the cultural conversation began to shift focus from the superficial aspects of celebrity to the enduring impact of legacy and truth. Discussions in living rooms, cafes, and even on the silver screens of independent theaters started to reflect on the broader implications of Foreman's death. It was not just a single event, but rather the culmination of decades of influence, a reminder that the stories of those who have shaped our society are interwoven with threads of both brilliance and tragedy. In this context, Stallone's remarks took on an almost philosophical tone, challenging everyone to consider what it truly means to honor the memory of a fallen hero. His emphatic declaration became a symbol of resistance against the forces that would prefer to keep certain narratives buried beneath layers of official statements and carefully constructed public images. As investigators continued to probe into the details, a recurring theme emerged: the complexity of legacy in a world where appearances often mask hidden truths. Every witness, every piece of evidence, and every whispered rumor added a new dimension to a story that was as convoluted as it was compelling. For those who had grown up admiring Foreman's strength and resilience, the emerging narrative was both a call for justice and a tribute to a man who had dedicated his life to overcoming adversity. The juxtaposition of his public persona with the quiet private battles he had fought was a stark reminder that even legends are not immune to the darker aspects of life. In reflecting on his own experiences and the turbulent events that had culminated in this tragedy, Stallone's voice rang with a sincerity that few could ignore. In his heartfelt address, Stallone recounted a conversation he had shared with Foreman years ago, a moment that encapsulated the very spirit of defiance and hope. He described how Foreman had spoken about the need for accountability in a world where the truth is often manipulated by unseen hands. That conversation, filled with both humility and a fierce determination to stand up for what was right, had left an indelible mark on Stallone. It was a reminder that beneath the bravado of the public persona lay a profound belief in justice and the inherent worth of every individual. His abrupt declaration in the wake of Foreman's death was, in many ways, a continuation of that conversation, a challenge to those who would allow the story of a great man's life to be rewritten by forces driven by self-interest rather than truth. The cultural impact of this tragedy extended well beyond the realms of sports and entertainment. Scholars, historians, and social commentators began to explore the broader implications of Foreman's passing in academic forums and public debates alike. They examined how the narrative of his life had evolved over the decades, transforming from that of a celebrated athlete to a symbol of resistance against an often opaque and unaccountable system. In a world where the lines between reality and spectacle frequently blur, Foreman's legacy emerged as a beacon of authenticity, a reminder that true greatness is measured not just in victories, but in the courage to face adversity head-on. Stallone's impassioned words thus served as both a tribute and a challenge, urging society to reclaim its right to know the unvarnished truth. In the quiet aftermath of the public outcry, those who had known Foreman on a personal level continued to honor his memory in ways that transcended the clamor of headlines and social media trends. Friends, family, and former colleagues spoke of a man who had always embodied the virtues of honor, loyalty, and resilience. They recalled the simple moments of laughter, the shared dreams, and the quiet strength that had defined his character. In these recollections, Foreman emerged not as a figure of controversy, but as a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, a spirit that, even in the face of overwhelming odds, remained unbowed and resolute. His life, filled with both dazzling achievements and quiet acts of kindness, became a rallying point for those who believed that every loss, no matter how devastating, could inspire a movement toward greater transparency and accountability. Sylvester Stallone's recent comments have since spurred a renewed interest in revisiting the milestones of Foreman's career. Documentaries, retrospective interviews, and heartfelt memoirs began to surface, each attempting to capture the multifaceted nature of a man who had transcended the boundaries of his chosen field. In one particularly moving account, a former trainer of Foreman recalled the countless hours spent in the gym, where every drop of sweat was a testament to a relentless pursuit of excellence. The trainer spoke of Foreman's unwavering discipline, his ability to transform adversity into strength, and the quiet moments of vulnerability that belied his formidable public image. These personal anecdotes added a layer of intimacy to the unfolding narrative, inviting viewers and readers alike to reflect on the deeper meaning of legacy and the importance of safeguarding the truth. In the midst of all the investigation and public discourse, there remained an undercurrent of hope, a belief that the unveiling of long-buried secrets would ultimately serve as a catalyst for positive change. The hope was that by demanding transparency and accountability, society could begin to repair the fractures that had long undermined its trust in those in power. In this regard, Stallone's words became not just a lament for a fallen hero, but a clarion call to action. They resonated as a reminder that the fight for truth is an ongoing battle, one that requires the courage to question, the persistence to seek answers, and the solidarity of communities united in grief and determination. As the investigation into Foreman's death moves forward, every new piece of evidence is being scrutinized with the understanding that history is often written by those brave enough to question the status quo. Analysts pore over old footage and transcripts, looking for even the slightest hint that might illuminate the circumstances behind his passing. The work is painstaking, driven by the belief that no injustice should remain hidden. This relentless pursuit of truth, echoing the very ethos that defined Foreman's life, continues to inspire both the public and those who have dedicated their lives to the cause of transparency. Reflecting on the larger significance of these events, one cannot help but acknowledge that Foreman's death has transcended the realm of sports and entered the collective conscience of an entire generation. It has sparked conversations about hero worship, the responsibilities of public figures, and the right of every citizen to a truthful narrative. In the wake of such a monumental loss, Stallone's poignant declaration stands as a symbol of the uncompromising demand for justice, a demand that, while steeped in sorrow, also carries the promise of renewal and transformation. The story of George Foreman, from his humble beginnings to his rise as a boxing champion and cultural icon, is a narrative filled with triumphs and trials. It is a narrative that reminds us that even the mightiest figures are not immune to the frailties of fate. His life was a mosaic of unforgettable moments, a series of battles fought not just in the ring, but in the arena of everyday existence. In every punch thrown, in every round fought, he demonstrated a resilience that inspired countless others to pursue their dreams, despite seemingly insurmountable odds. His passing, shrouded in controversy and mystery, now calls upon us to revisit those moments with renewed clarity and purpose. In the final analysis, the raw emotion and unfiltered candor of Sylvester Stallone's statement have done more than merely stir public sentiment. They have ignited a broader dialogue about the nature of truth, the importance of legacy, and the moral responsibility that accompanies fame. His voice, resonant with the gravitas of someone who has seen both the light and shadow of life's most challenging battles, challenges every listener to look beyond the surface. It calls upon us to remember that behind every headline, behind every sensational claim, there lies a human story, one marked by passion, sacrifice, and an unyielding quest for justice. As this unfolding saga continues to capture the attention of the world, the legacy of George Foreman remains etched in the annals of history as a symbol of resilience and transformation. His life, celebrated in countless memories and immortalized in the hearts of fans, now serves as a powerful reminder that every act of courage, every stand taken in the face of adversity, is an essential thread in the fabric of our collective human experience. In his memory, communities are uniting to demand that every detail be brought to light and every injustice be met with the scrutiny it deserves. In the echo of Stallone's stirring words and the determined inquiries of investigators and fans alike, there is an enduring hope that the truth will ultimately prevail. His call for accountability has rekindled a commitment among many to honor the memory of a true icon. By ensuring that his life and legacy are not reduced to mere sound bites or manipulated narratives. Instead, they are to be celebrated in their full complexity, a blend of triumph, struggle, and the ceaseless pursuit of a better, more honest world. In conclusion, while the full story behind George Foreman's death remains, cloaked in layers of mystery and controversy, the resounding impact of Sylvester Stallone's declaration has irrevocably changed the course of public discourse. His impassioned words have mobilized a community that refuses to accept half-truths and obscured facts. In the spirit of those who have long championed justice and transparency, his statement stands as a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in our darkest hours, the quest for truth can and will light the way. The legacy of George Foreman and the raw honesty of Stallone's outcry serve as enduring testaments to the power of resilience and the unbreakable human spirit. Looking back over the extraordinary life of George Foreman and reflecting on the seismic impact of his departure, it becomes clear that his story is far from over. Rather, it is a call to all who have ever dared to dream of a fairer, more truthful world. His journey, marked by countless victories and personal transformations, now invites us to re-examine our own beliefs about legacy, heroism, and the nature of justice. In the wake of his loss, the world is left with an urgent imperative to seek out every hidden truth, to question every official narrative, and to stand in solidarity with those who, like Foreman, have given so much to inspire others. As the investigation continues and the public demands clarity, the very essence of what it means to be a hero is being redefined. No longer is it enough to simply celebrate the glories of the past. It is now incumbent upon each of us to uphold the values of honesty, transparency, and accountability in our daily lives. The stirring words of Sylvester Stallone, spoken in a moment of raw vulnerability and righteous indignation, have sparked a movement that transcends the boundaries of sport, entertainment, and politics. It is a call to honor the memory of a man who embodied the struggle for truth and to ensure that the legacy he left behind is preserved with the dignity and respect it so richly deserves in the end. As we stand at the crossroads of grief and revelation, the story of George Foreman, and the fervent declaration by Sylvester Stallone reminds us that every life, no matter how monumental, is a tapestry of moments both brilliant and bittersweet. It urges us to embrace the complexities of our shared history and to strive for a future where truth is never sacrificed for convenience. The legacy of these icons, immortalized in their battles both inside and outside the ring, will continue to inspire generations to come, urging each of us to challenge the status quo and to seek justice with unwavering determination. The journey toward uncovering the full truth behind this controversy is just beginning. As each new piece of the puzzle falls into place, the collective voice of the people grows louder, united by a shared belief in the sanctity of truth and the unyielding power of justice. In the midst of uncertainty and sorrow, there is also an enduring sense of hope, a belief that no matter how dark the night, the dawn will eventually break, and with it, a renewed commitment to honor the legacy of those who have shaped our world in ways that can never be forgotten. And so, as we reflect on the life of George Foreman and the impassioned call to truth echoed by Sylvester Stallone, we are reminded that our shared journey is defined not only by the challenges we face, but also by the strength we summon to overcome them. It is in moments like these, when the voices of legends speak out against injustice, that we are given the opportunity to forge a future built on honesty, compassion, and the unbreakable resolve to honor every life that has touched our hearts. In this era of rapid change and shifting narratives, the message is clear: the legacy of a true icon is never lost, and the call for truth is a battle that each of us must join. As we move forward, may the memory of George Foreman serve as a reminder that every struggle, every triumph, and every cry for justice contributes to the tapestry of our collective human experience. And may the unwavering spirit of those who dare to speak out, in moments of both triumph and despair, continue to inspire us all to stand up, ask questions, and never accept anything less than the full truth. Ultimately, as we come to terms with the loss of a man whose legacy transcended the boundaries of sport, we are left with an enduring lesson that the fight for truth and justice is one that must be waged every day, in every corner of our lives. Sylvester Stallone's heartfelt declaration, echoing with the weight of 1,000 untold stories, serves as both a memorial to a life brilliantly lived and a beacon guiding us toward a future where no voice is silenced by fear or suppression. In remembering George Foreman, we honor not only his remarkable achievements, but also the timeless reminder that every great legacy deserves to be cherished, scrutinized, and ultimately preserved for the generations that follow. In the final reckoning, the saga of George Foreman's life and the stirring words of Sylvester Stallone converge into a single, powerful narrative, a narrative that challenges us to look beyond the surface and to embrace the profound complexity of truth. It is a narrative that, even in its sorrow, is imbued with the promise of redemption and the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. For in the echoes of every fallen hero, and in the passionate pleas for justice, there lies the hope that our shared pursuit of truth will ultimately lead us to a future where every life is celebrated for its enduring contributions to our collective journey. This is the story of resilience, of heroes who dare to defy the odds, and of a call to truth that will reverberate across time. It is a story that asks us all to be vigilant, to question relentlessly, and to honor the legacies of those who have paved the way for a better, more just world. And in doing so, it reminds us that every voice matters, every truth counts, and every legacy, no matter how storied, deserves the light of day. In the wake of such profound loss, as the world comes together in mourning and reflection, the words of Sylvester Stallone continue to inspire a movement for accountability and justice. His simple yet powerful statement, etched into the annals of this unfolding history, will serve as a call to all who believe in the sanctity of truth, urging us to stand united in our pursuit of a future where the light of honesty shines brightly, dispelling the shadows of deceit once and for all. Every moment, every memory, and every quest for justice reinforces the timeless truth that while legends may depart, their spirit endures in the hearts of those they have touched. As we honor the life of George Foreman and carry forward his extraordinary legacy, we are reminded that the fight for truth is eternal, a noble endeavor that defines us as much as any triumph in the ring. And so, with determination in our hearts and the unwavering belief that every injustice can be undone, we step forward into the light, ready to embrace the future with open arms and an unyielding commitment to honor the legacies that have shaped our world. In this shared journey toward clarity and accountability, the message is unmistakable. The truth, no matter how obscured by layers of power and influence will eventually emerge, and in that emergence lies the hope of a new dawn, a dawn that celebrates the indomitable spirit of heroes, the resilience of those who dare to speak out, and the unwavering power of a legacy that refuses to fade.